So recently we talked a little bit about XLS 81D, the new amendment that is on the XRP Ledger. It is titled Permission Dexes, and I do believe that this revealed exactly what comes next for XRP, for the XRP Ledger, and this is all centered around Ripple and the end game that the BIS is also pushing for. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's dive in real quick and let's actually address this amendment. So yesterday, I did talk a little bit about this. This is the abstract for it. So the decentralized exchanges are revolutionizing finance due to their ability to offer significant benefits, such as intermediary elimination, lower transaction costs, enhanced security, and user asset custody. These advantages align perfectly with the growing demand for efficient financial systems. However, a major hurdle hinders wider adoption by traditional institutions. The anonymity of DEXs make it difficult to comply with anti-money laundering and also know your customer regulations. Now, this proposal introduces a permission DEX system for the XRP Ledger. By integrating permissioning features directly within the DEX protocol, regulated financial institutions gain the ability to participate in the XRP Ledger's DEX while still adhering to their compliance requirements. This approach avoids the drawbacks of isolated permission tokens or private blockchains, ensuring a vibrant and liquid marketplace that facilitates seamless arbitrage opportunities. Ultimately, this permission DEX system paves the way for wider institutional adoption of the XRP Ledger, fostering a more inclusive and efficient financial landscape. Now, outside of this, I had a little conversation with Mr. Man XRP over on X, and it is because he posted this image. Now, this is not a very new image. It's an older image, but this is very significant today. In fact, the overall conversation that I did have with him was slowly but surely, the past all makes sense. If I am mistaken, this is an old image from an old document, but it is even more important today. We are witnessing the puzzle pieces falling into place, revealing what's happening behind the scenes. And he even did respond saying this is a very old image from the RippleNet docs. These current movements are allowing the past to prove true. It did not make as much sense then as it does today. And yes, this is extremely bullish for XRP and the XRP Ledger. This is the plan in action, in my opinion, and it does also put a spotlight on why the past is still very important to focus on. Because if we actually look at this, right, we have down here that Brad Garlinghouse himself had recently spoken about a yen-based stablecoin for the RippleNet ecosystem, which we also did make a video on. I do believe that RL Yen, RL Euro, we are going to see so many stablecoins on the XRP Ledger, and it is going to look like this. We have this is what RippleNet's ecosystem looks like when it's completed with stablecoin arrangements, RLUSD, RL Yen, RL GBP, etc. Ripple operates its own real-time gross settlement system for wholesale funds. Stablecoins will be issued by before CBDCs. Stablecoins are regulated already in most countries. Now, this is what that diagram looks like. Now, yes, this is exactly how I envision all of this becoming a reality. CBDCs are going to be there. Stablecoins are also going to be there. Now, the big thing to focus on is what a CBDC is and what a stablecoin is, which we will get to that here in a second. But over here, big shout out to Subjective Views. We have stablecoins really are one of the big keys to unlocking the space. This is from the CEO of Archix. Check it out.
Great segue into stablecoin. As you know, Ripple launched its own stablecoin second half of this year. And so what role do you see stablecoins playing in all this?
Yeah, I think everyone puts things in the buckets, I think, of, or at least I do, crypto and stablecoins and then RWA, digital securities. But the reality is the securities piece, the real value only comes when you have something like RLUSD able to be used in line with the security. So, you know, for example, if you want to have, everyone talks about atomic settlement, but when you go and look at most atomic settlement offerings in the space, all they are database entries where they're swapping beneficial ownerships of cash and tokens. But if you actually have someone buying an asset using a stablecoin and someone selling an asset on the same technology, that's something that didn't really exist before. In the traditional world, the fiat rails are over here, your asset rails are over here, and you have to try and make them talk. But if they're on the same technology, then you can ask questions. If you've delivered this and you've delivered that, then settle. You can start paying corporate actions using stablecoins. You can, part of the interest and dividends that now exist in our system, we can pay out in XRPL. So if you've got a distributing fund, we could pay RLUSD out as a dividend, or we could pay scrip dividends of more of the same shares on XRPL. So, stablecoins really are one of the big keys to unlocking this space. So, it's great you guys are going into the space, and great that Jack's leading it as well, because Jack's a great guy.
And when we really think about stablecoins, the opportunity here is endless. Stablecoins are going to be the absolute end game key for everything. We're talking about tokenization, we're talking about lending services, anything that you can think about around the digital financial economy that is becoming a reality now, it does involve stablecoins. Now, also, even over here, we have which category do you think the RLUSD falls under? The head of structuring at Archix, Ripple partner, discusses two different types of stablecoins. Number one, a stablecoin that has the utility to sit within a private network of institutions to achieve atomic settlement. This allows for de-risking of the settlement period. And then also a stablecoin that will be available to the whole world, existing on multiple protocols and jurisdictions, allowing for another settlement layer. Now, again, the way that I really look at this is I feel as though RLUSD kind of fits both areas here. I actually think that RLUSD is going to be one of the biggest stablecoins because of this reason, but also the fact that we are now seeing this permission DEX, being brought up. This proposal is very big. If we're thinking about this and we're thinking about a stablecoin, this could very well lead to a private network of institutions. Because remember what a DEX actually is. It is an exchange. What do you do on an exchange? You buy, sell, trade. You convert things. I do believe that RLUSD is going to be a key driver around that. And I also do believe that XRP and the XRP Ledger is going to be so crucial for all of this to become a reality. Institutional adoption of the XRP Ledger and XRP is going to be absolutely insane once all of this becomes a reality. I am very excited about this stablecoin, but check this out.
Is that we're seeing two concepts in stablecoin. One being a stablecoin that has a particular, I would say, utility, and that utility could be sitting within essentially a private network of banks or institutions or brokers, and they're using this stablecoin for essentially immediate or what they call atomic settlement. And what that allows is essentially de-risking of the settlement period, rather than in classic times, dealing on a T2, T3 basis. You're dealing now on not even a T0 basis, but an immediate settlement. So, and in that case, that stablecoin exists within a very small group of what you call whitelisted wallets and individuals. Then you've got another concept, which is the much broader stablecoin, which is essentially available to the whole world. It can exist on multiple protocols. It can exist in multiple jurisdictions, subject to the regulatory journey. And generally, in these smart contracts, you would implement what they call the sanctions list, which is essentially prohibiting bad actors utilizing this particular stablecoin. But it's much more focused on addressing some bigger and smaller issues, which is essentially trade finance, dealing with retailers, clearing, and all it is essentially a new settlement layer. We use banks, we use cash, we potentially in time will use CBDCs, but stablecoins are just another route to enable the financial markets to operate in a much more effective way.
And remember what the end goal of all of this is, right? It's to make sure that traditional finance is now in the digital age of finance. It's ushering everything on chain through tokenization, through digitalization. Again, I'm very excited about all of this. Now, remember what the BIS has pushed. The BIS revealed that almost every major central bank is interested in wholesale CBDCs. as we think about this, the number one thing that I want all of you to understand is what a CBDC actually is. Now, we also have stablecoin use limited outside crypto. The survey also explored the use of stablecoins and other digital assets. It found that stablecoins are seldom used for payments beyond the crypto ecosystem. Despite the overall stablecoin market capitalization surging over 161 billion at the end of May 2024, the fiat pegged tokens constitute only 6% of the total crypto market cap. Central banks observed that stablecoins are primarily used for crypto trading or within DeFi platforms, with minimal adoption for mainstream payment purposes. Central banks reported that stablecoins are mainly used by niche groups for remittances and retail payments rather than by the wider public. For example, stablecoins account for about 5% of remittances to Mexico. Despite this limited use, the potential for stablecoins to disrupt financial stability and payment systems remain a concern. Driving regulatory efforts. The primary regulatory objectives include protecting investors and consumers, ensuring financial stability, and countering illicit activities. Now, the number one thing to take from this is stablecoins and wholesale CBDCs. If we go over here, there is a 4-minute long video regarding Brad Garlinghouse and Adrian Trissani, who is the previous CEO of Medico. And we have, knowing that Ripple will be launching its own stablecoin, it is very interesting to see how extensively Brad Garlinghouse and Adrian Trissani talked about stablecoins and CBDCs half a year ago. Big shout out to XRP Drops for this. Check this out.
Valuable in the future?
I mean, the short answer is yes. I think stablecoins have a role to play because they are efficient. They are adding an efficiency to how money is moving today. And they are, back to my point around transparency, they are trusted in a way that people perceive crypto as less trustworthy in some ways because of volatility. Now, I'm not sure we have gotten to the promised land as it relates to stablecoins. You know, there are stablecoins in the market today that have depegged, and you know, some have recovered, some have at times a couple have gone away. In effect, so I think we have to remember this whole industry is still pretty nascent, and I think it's going to continue to evolve. But I do believe that stablecoins have a role to play. I'm bullish on that. You know, one manifestation of that is Ripple has invested and is working with about 10 different governments around the world to do central bank digital currencies. I mean, a central bank digital currency is a stablecoin. It's just issued by the government. But yeah, I also think.
And did you catch that? CBDCs are stablecoins. They're just issued by the government.
There'll be stablecoins outside of that. But as we've already talked about, it's important, I think, to have clear regulatory guidelines as to how those will work, and to make sure they are safe for consumers, make sure they are safe for counterparties, you know, et cetera.
Thank you. So
I'm curious, by the way, Adrian, I'd love to hear your answer to that question. You know, what's your take on the future of stablecoins?
Well, you know, I was actually curious about your response because, of course, Ripple has been very visible also on the CBDC space, and it's clear that the technology of XRPL is something that can be used also in a more privatized, if I can call it this way, version of the ledger. It can be turned into a private payment platform or private transfer platform. XRPL also in general is considered to be one of the best tokenization platforms. You know, it's very clean, very hard. It's meant for tokenization. It's meant also for on-chain trading. Actually, with features which came way before some of the more generic platforms such as Ethereum brought this concept of AMM, automated market making, etc. So my view is that, again, I have this sort of pragmatic view that something which is technically feasible will eventually happen. You know, it may take a long time, but it will eventually happen. And because it is possible for governments and central banks to eventually digitalize everything, even though it's not something they are comfortable with on the short term, simply because they've never done it, it's a very different role for them. I'm convinced that the attractiveness of being in control and having even more controlled power and ability to enforce regulations is something that will make central banks, you know, move to markets with some form, whether it's retail or wholesale, of CBDC. Now, what does it mean for private stablecoins? Where, first of all, until central banks are going at scale with CBDC, I think we're not there yet. You know, some central banks are now moving and they are clear that they are going to this market. but it's going to take time until they are truly productive, and in particular for the main largest banks to be on the markets. And also because they are afraid of the implications of this. What does it mean for the banking system? What does it mean for the monetary supply, the control of inflation, etc.? It's not clear. And so I think until such central banks are moving at scale with CBDC, there is clearly a need to have sort of proxy to the central bank money, which today is a private form of a stable coin. And there are indeed multiple initiatives in the market. Some of them have been more successful than others, have been able to better keep their peg. There are many shapes of them also. Some of them are more algorithmic. They try to maintain the peg through a sort of, over collateralization mechanism, which could be on-chain. They have tended to be sometimes less stable than the fully backed stable coins. I don't know how the market is going to evolve, but one thing is clear. I think there is a need today for the on-chain activity to grow for a stable coin to exist.
I think that's well said. I agree.
And, as we do think about this, what we are about to witness is stablecoins flooding into this market. I do believe that Ripple is going to be one of the largest issuers in this space around stablecoins as well. Ripple has been working with regulators. They've been extremely compliant when it comes to stablecoin initiatives. CBDCs. Ripple is also home to CBDCs. So regardless of what is happening right now, and regardless of what we hear from the BIS, which, by the way, the BIS, they are very, very adamant about how big CBDCs will be. I do believe that CBDCs are going to stay in the lane of central banks, meaning I do believe that central banks will have their CBDCs, but I do believe that retail will mostly have stablecoins once we do start to see everything moving over to a digital-based system. But the thing that I really focus on here is how big all of this will be for XRP and the XRPL. Because regardless of how big all of these stablecoins are or will be, that Ripple is going to push, because I don't believe that's not, I just can't see RLUSD being the only stablecoin that Ripple pushes. I do believe that we are going to see every single currency have its own stablecoin that Ripple does issue out, and XRP is going to be at the center point of that, just like you see on this diagram here. Now, if we think about this and we mix in the permission dexes, we mix in all of the amendments around like DID, we also have a few other amendments as well with like the AMM and stuff like that. All of those key pieces are highlighting the move for institutional adoption and also institutional tokenization services, offering their client services all through crypto. Now, do I think that all of the money in every single bank will use XRP? No, I think that that's ridiculous. But I do believe that XRP is going to be one of the biggest projects in this space. I also believe that the overall ecosystem around the XRP ledger will be very valuable, making XRP also very valuable, and also XRP holders that are holding at that time very wealthy, because we will also have the opportunity to lend out XRP on the XRP ledger in a compliant and regulated landscape as well, which I do find very interesting when that time comes. But with all of that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.